In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that people expect to experience and see at your Christmas service, and I think we should be giving it to them. Coming up. Hey, Spencer here from leadingworshipwell.com, your daily dose of practical worship leading tips. This is the place where we talk about how to lead yourself well, lead your church well, and lead worship well. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe down below. But it's Christmas time. I've still got my ugly Christmas sweater on from the last video. If you didn't check that video out, check it out right here. I hope I pointed to the right place. I don't know, one of these spots, I still don't know which way to point. Man, we're talking about Christmas today. And I want to share with you the fact, just this overall understanding, first of all, that people who come to your Christmas services, whether they're people who only come once or twice a year to church, like we talked about in the last video, or whether they are people who regularly come to your church, they are expecting certain things from your Christmas service. And I want to make you aware of those because I think that there's this, just this feeling as creatives in the church and as leaders in the church that we have to be fancy with our presentation and we always have to be doing something new and exciting and switching things up all the time. I don't think that's the case. I think people like tradition, and not that we want to be stuck in our ways and always do the same thing for the sake of doing the same thing, but at Christmas time, people are expecting certain things from your Christmas service, and I think that we can give them to them, and it's not going to hinder our ability to minister to them, but I think it's actually going to elevate it. And before I get into these 3 things that people expect, I just want to say that there's room for creativity. There's so much room for creativity within these 3 points that I'm about to share with you, but I believe that these 3 things should be in your Christmas services. Before we get there, though, I want to hear, what do you think an average church member at your church expects from a Christmas service? Like when they say, honey, we're going to the Christmas service, what do you think they're expecting whenever they walk in? Are they expecting like a snow machine and Olaf to be there? Are they expecting singing Christmas carols out in the parking lot before things happen? What is it? Like, what are the traditions at your church? What do you think people are expecting whenever they come to your Christmas Eve service? Let me know down below and I'll talk to you in a second. Thanks so much for letting me know down below what people expect at your church. I want to share with you now and I think that this is universally true. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I think these are 3 things that people expect from your Christmas Eve service and that we need to give them. The first thing people expect at your Christmas service: traditional Christmas carols. Whether you like them or not, whether you like to play them with their millions of different chords or not, people want traditional Christmas carols. And I know it's fun for us as worship leaders to try to find the newest Christmas music, and it's really hard to find new Christmas music, but it's out there, and we find a song that we like, and we hear that Hillsong song or that Chris Tomlin song or that Phil Wickham song, and we're like, I need to do that at my church. And by all means, do some of those at your church. But I think you do your church a disservice if they come in to a Christmas service and they're expecting Christmas carols and you don't do any of them. I don't know if that happens. I hope it doesn't, but I feel like it does sometimes. And people are expecting those traditional Christmas carols. They want to sing those. Those are what they need on Christmas Eve or your Christmas services. And so let's just give it to them. I think Christmas carols are great. First of all, Christmas carols are worship songs. I talked about that in a video that I made before last year. I'll link that down in the description below about how you can teach your church that Christmas songs are worship songs. Wow, I said that poorly, but you get the idea. So these Christmas carols are worship songs, so it's okay to use them. On top of that, people know them. People are familiar with them. So it includes this element of familiarity, not just for the people who already come to your church, but the people who have maybe never been to your church before. That's a unifying piece between those two different groups of people, the regular attenders and the new people, or the people who don't come very often. Everybody knows how to sing, "O come all ye faithful," "O come all ye faithful," or everybody knows how to sing "Joy to the World." People know these songs, so let's sing them together. Our purpose in a corporate worship gathering is to worship together. It's not for us to have our individual pockets of worship, but it's for us to worship together. One of the ways we can do that is by serving the people we're leading well, by leading songs that they're familiar with. So incorporate traditional Christmas carols, whether you like them or not, whether you hate learning all the chords in them or not. Just put in a little work and sing some traditional Christmas carols. Your whole service doesn't have to be that, but I think the majority of it should be. That's my thought process. Let me know if you know differently, if you think differently, down in the comments below. Let's move on to the second thing people expect. The second thing that people expect is candle lighting. At least where I live, in my general vicinity, people expect some element of a candle lighting service in their Christmas Eve service or their Christmas services, where they're coming in and they're expecting, we're going to get a candle, we're going to turn all the lights out in the church, we're going to light the candle, and then we're going to sing Silent Night or Away in the Manger or whatever, like some laid back songs. And that's what people want. And I think that is such a powerful moment. We don't have to be afraid of that. Maybe that seems like a traditional thing for you to do, but it's such a powerful moment. So let me know if I'm off base here and you don't do that in your church. Let me know why you don't do that in your church. Maybe it's just not a thing where you live. I don't know. But where I live, people are expecting candle lighting. And we can use that. We can do it in a creative way. It doesn't have to just be this monotonous thing we do out of routine where it's like, well, we're coming out of the message or we're doing it at the beginning or whatever. Time to turn the lights out and light our candles. No, like, be creative in it. There's room for that in all of these things that people expect. But I think that candle lighting is a super special moment on Christmas Eve. I mean, when else do you get to do that? It's kind of like this feeling of being around a campfire, and like there's such community built there. I'm not really sure what it is, but there's community built there as you're passing the flame from candle to candle, and then everybody is lifting their candles up and we're singing together. It's a beautiful moment. So just give your church that if that's something that they expect. And finally, number 3, and I feel crazy for having to say this, but I've been in Christmas Eve services before where this has not happened. People at your Christmas services expect to hear the Christmas story. And maybe this isn't up to you. Maybe you need to share this with your pastor. But pastors, don't feel like, oh my gosh, I preached the Christmas story for the past 16 years that I've been at this church on Christmas. I'm going to change it up this year and do something different. Like, no, be creative in your presentation, but people want to hear the Christmas story read, and we can give that to them. It's Christmas season. If we can't open up our Bibles and read the Christmas story directly from the Bible, what are we doing? That's literally the reason. We don't have to find some super fancy way to present it and come from some obscure angle like, oh, this year we're going to talk about it from the camel's perspective that the wise man rode in on. Like, no, just tell the Christmas story. People know it, but they want to hear it. They want to be reminded of it. So just incorporate the Christmas story. It can be creative. It doesn't have to be you just opening your Bible and reading it. But I think in our modern churches, we've kind of gotten away from that. Like, we've gotten so creative that maybe the most creative thing we could do would be to get back to the beginning, open up our Bible to Matthew, whatever it is, and just read the Christmas story word for word. I feel like that'd be something different in this day and age. I don't know. Give people the Christmas story. So just a reminder, those 3 things: traditional Christmas carols, candle lighting, the Christmas story. People want those things whenever they come to your Christmas Eve service. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I missed something that you think people expect in the Christmas services. Let me know about that below as well. And we aren't just doing this to just people please, but I think that these are okay expectations for people to have, and we can honor them by giving it to them. Before you go, if you want to improve your worship leading this Christmas and lead worship well during this season, I put together a free 7-day devotional for you called 7 Days to Leading Christmas Worship Well. In that, I hope you prepare for Christmas. I share some tips along the way. I even talk about some stuff after Christmas and give you permission to rest a little bit after Christmas. So if you're interested in that, check that out. It's free. There's a link to it down in the description below. Other than that, thanks so much for joining me. Until I see you in the next video, keep leading worship well.